So, what happens when you don't eat healthy food? You get hungry, right? What happens when you don't nourish your spirit through loving, supportive relationships? Well, you get lonely, you get depressed, you get exhausted. What happens when you don't nourish your mind with positive, healthy thoughts? You get worried, you get stressed, you get anxious. It all makes sense, right? I'm Mindy Audlin, the founder of the What If Up Club and author of What If It All Goes Right. I yesterday I kind of binged a bit on my husband brought home some cookie dough ice cream. So I could not resist before I went to bed. Huge bowl of cookie dough ice cream, which I haven't had a big bowl of ice cream like that in a long time. And it was delicious. Okay. I just have to say it was really good. But when I woke up this morning, I could feel it. I could feel that, I was like, I had this funky taste in my mouth and I just kind of was congested. I could just feel that I had eaten something that wasn't particularly healthy for me. I could feel it in my body. And it got me thinking as I woke up this morning, I thought, that's kind of true, not only for, obviously, if we're not going to eat healthy, we're not going to expect our body to be healthy, but it's also true for the things that we think, the things that we put into our mind. Like, how often do we put ourselves in front of the news or put ourselves in front of people who are negative and complaining and then wonder why we feel stressed and anxious, right? It's because what are we putting in here? Is it healthy for us? Is it positive? How often do we find ourselves isolated, coming out of this pandemic and all the different ways through our technology that we create a barrier between the other people in our lives? How often do we do that? Do we isolate? Do we pull ourselves away from social opportunities and then wonder why we feel lonely or why we feel depressed or exhausted just from trying to do everything ourselves? And the same is true when we aren't sharing our gifts. That's sort of a cause and effect. If we're not using our talents to enrich the lives of others, if we're not bringing value to the world through our life, what happens is we tend to feel sometimes confusion. And we tend to feel sometimes lack of hope, sometimes lack of clarity. And all of these things, you might look at it and say, well, all those emotions, those are emotions that we tend to call negative emotions, right? We tend to say that stress is a negative emotion, anxiety, negative emotion, worry, negative, lack of clarity, negative, like all those things, loneliness, negative. We call all those emotions, all those feelings, we call them negative. But what if they're really simply indicators? What if the purpose of those emotions is to give us the feedback to let us know that we need to change something in order to feel different? What if the discomfort of those emotions is actually giving us direction on the things that we could potentially change in our lives? So I share this particularly this week because I notice a lot of times in personal development and spiritual development, a lot of times people will come into a spiritual community or come into a personal development program, and they will come in when they're feeling those feelings. Obviously, it's like, oh, I know when I first found my spiritual community, when I first started really immersing myself in spiritual growth, it was because things weren't working in my life and it didn't feel good. It felt horrible and I wanted relief from that. And that feeling is what inspired me, what urged me to try going into a spiritual community, to try personal growth, to try developing myself, improving myself. So those negative emotions and the discomfort of them actually led me to some of the most fertile, richest parts of my life where I've had the most growth. So, what if it's not that those are negative emotions? What if those emotions are simply giving us feedback? So, a lot of times I notice people come into a community like this, like the What If Up Club, and sometimes you come in when things aren't looking so great. When what if it all goes right? It's like, no, it seems like everything's going wrong. And so we come into this community looking for relief from those feelings. And the way we structure our community, we are designed to provide relief in all three of those areas. So we have this process called what if upping, and it is a way to essentially detox your mindset. It is a way that you can take a thought that's you've been stewing on and turn it around so that you can find relief from it, so that it's not bogging you down, causing stress and anxiety. You can find relief. And the more you do that, the more relief you find. So we have this mindset tool. We also have this community. And in this community, you're surrounded by people where our purpose in coming together is to encourage and support each other, to help you feed your mind with those positive, healthy thoughts, to help you see possibilities, positive possibilities for yourself that you would not have seen otherwise, because we are tapping into this mastermind. So you're surrounding yourself with people who are coming together with a very intentional purpose to uplift you, to encourage you, to inspire you. Why do we do that? Because we know that the things that we give expand. That's not why we do it. We do it because it feels so good. It feels so good. It takes us out of that sense of drifting, out of that sense of not being on purpose. To give to each other is perhaps the greatest feeling of all. So when you're looking for relief from that sense of being adrift, how do you find it? You find it by changing your mindset, surrounding yourself with people that will reinforce that mindset, and then giving from your fullness to others in support of that same mission. That is exactly what we do. So what happens sometimes is people come in when they're on a, sort of having a low point, and then they come in and it shifts things. Now, here's what I notice happens frequently in personal development and in spiritual growth is we come in, and once we find the relief, then we go on to other things. And I think about that kind of like the idea of, I'm hungry, so I make myself a feast, and I eat and I eat and I eat until I'm so full, and then thinking, I don't need to eat again. We wouldn't think that. It's like, okay, well, that's something that we have to do on a daily basis. Well, the same is true for our mindset, for our happiness, for finding that joy, for finding a sense of clarity and fulfillment. It is an ongoing process. So this week, I wanted to specifically reach out to those of you who have been part of our community, who've been part of a team up challenge, who've been in a what if up group, who have been in a small group in any sort of way, what if upping. And maybe it's been something that, you had this great experience and then you kind of went on to other things. Today, I want to invite you to come back into the process. It's amazing. In the past week, I've had so many people reach out to me and say, I've been missing my what if up family. I can feel when I don't have that peace in my life because something feels like it's missing. There's a level of joy and fulfillment and possibility and connection that happens in our community that if you come and go, you will feel the ebb and the flow of it. So if you're in that ebb and you're wanting to feel the flow, I invite you to re-engage in our community. Now, if you're new, I'm going to encourage you to dive in and see what I'm talking about, to experience it for yourself. How do we do this? Well, we are hosting a members only possibilities party. So this is going to be something that we're doing once a month. And tonight is the night. So I want to invite you tonight at 7:30 Eastern time. We are going to be gathering on Zoom. The link is in our Facebook community, so you can click on the link there to join us. If you are on our email list, I will send out the link in our weekly member newsletter. I'll also send a reminder out tonight so that you can remember to join us live as we talk about the what if up process. How do you use it in your life? As we practice it with something that matters to you, something that you're working on in your life. It can be a challenge, a goal, a dream. You'll have a chance to connect with some people, to meet some amazing people in our community, and to be there for them, and to notice how good it feels to share something as simple as an idea, to share something simple as a word of encouragement, of enthusiasm for someone else's dream. Notice how good that feels. So it is a discipline. It's not like, you wouldn't expect to go to the gym once and never have to go again. That what if upping is a discipline. And when you really allow yourself to let this mindset weave its way into every area of your life, you will be amazed at how good it feels, and how when things happen around you, when the headlines get you down, or when some circumstance tends to pull you off of your A game, that you can quickly use these tools and tap into this community to get yourself back on track. So that is what we do. And with that, I also want to share a huge thank you to all of you who are financial supporters of this community. Because of your contributions, these events, this membership is free. So if you haven't joined the What If Up Club yet, go to whatifup.org, sign up today. It is a free membership. And once you get in there, we have free member events. Our possibilities party is free every month. And why? How does that happen? It happens because we have members who are in a mindset of abundance and prosperity. And from that mindset, they give to support everyone. Isn't that cool? Our members come in and feel the support and encouragement of others. And that encouragement helps them grow and expand so that they have this overflow from which they give. And our members are of that mindset of prosperity and abundance in such a way that they really get that there is joy in the giving of ideas, the giving of our time, the giving of our what ifs, our encouragement, and the giving of the financial resources that allow this community to be here. So if you haven't signed on as a donor, go to whatifup.org/donate, and you can make a contribution anytime, whether it's just a couple bucks and, get me my next chai tea. That's great. Or you can also sign up as an ongoing monthly contributor, or maybe you want to. I know we have members in our prosperity group that are tithers. If this is part of your spiritual practice, your mental well-being, that you come here, this is a resource for you, then you may want to give to support that as well. Not only are you supporting it for yourself, but for the 800 and something members that we have in our community and continuing to grow. You can also support this community simply by sharing it with your friends, with your family, with your colleagues. Let people know that we are here so that we can encourage each other and expand and grow together. So that is my invitation to you. Join us for our next possibilities party this evening, Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Cannot wait to see you there. All right. So we're not gonna be hungry in terms of our spiritual life, right? We have each other. We've got your back, and we can't wait to see you soon. So see you tonight, possibilities party. Thanks for being here, everybody. Bye-bye.